Guys, no shot. This has been a crazy freaking week. Steam dropping an absolute bombshell in the middle of the week, 3 hardware announcements, and if you're like me, you've probably seen 20 different videos pop up on your feed telling you every little detail about the Steam machine, the frame, controller, but I just wanted to talk about it from my perspective, from the perspective of a game developer, and how much I think this is going to change everything. Hey, I'm BiPigeon, and I've been developing my game for about 6 months now. I know I don't have years and years of experience as a game dev, but when it comes to playing on Steam, that I do. Coming from a Warcraft 3 background, I was so hyped to see that Valve was taking charge and creating Dota 2. When the opportunity came to play the closed beta in 2011, my friends and I, we jumped at that, and that was my first interaction with Steam. 3,000 hours of Dota 2, playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive, seeing the 14 years of just buying and playing games on Steam. It makes me really reflect on those past years. The one thing I think about when I think about Steam or Valve is that they're good. And I'm not even talking about them being good at printing money. I'm talking about them as a game company, creating games that they're passionate about, creating a platform that benefits the people who actually use the platform, making it easy to purchase games, easy to refund, there being a bunch of sales, good support. And I think the big thing is that if you ask many people about their experience using Steam, very few people are going to have an issue with how Steam does business. So what happens when public perception about your platform is good? One user downloads Steam, another user, and then another user. As the user base grows, the platform adoption just increases and increases. Steam then becomes the de facto place where you go to buy games and play games. You like playing games on Steam? Well, guess what? As game developers, Steam becomes even more important for us to launch our games on. And the thing is, it's not even indie developers. We're talking AAA developers also see the same benefits to launching on Steam. When you think about a game's player base, you might think about something like a concurrent player base, or how many unique users per X that you have in a given amount of time. But the thing is, Steam isn't like that. Steam's concurrent player base is any player playing games on Steam. You can freely transition between one game to the next, meaning that it's not really so important what the player base of the actual game is. In some ways it is, depending on what game you're playing, but relative to Steam, it is not so important. And Steam actually knows this, which is why in their most recent announcement, they are very keenly focused on improving the ability to play games on Steam for users. Not so much that they want you to play longer, but they want to make it even easier to go from game to game, make it easier to pick up a game, start it. Cue the Steam Machine, which is Steam's pre-built computer that will be running Steam's own operating system and is built primarily for gaming. Because Valve has Steam, Steam is the platform that has all the games, not to mention the Steam hardware survey, so then they have a good understanding of their player base. When you consider Steam's unique position in being able to create a product like this, it's not just the Steam Machine being an entry-level PC, it's the fact that Steam is making the entry-level PC. That is the difference. So how is the Steam Machine going to make it easier for us to play our games? The first is going to be the Steam controller, and then the second one is going to be the operating system. Because Steam is releasing the Steam Machine with a new Steam controller, even though Steam positions the Steam Machine as a PC, it has amazing compatibility with Steam's controller. You don't have to use it like a PC, you can use it like a console. It's going to be very interesting to see where the Steam Machine is mostly going to be used, but in my opinion, it probably doesn't matter. Will the Steam Machine make it easier to play Steam games? If so, Valve will be very successful with their product. And second, the operating system. This is such a big deal because for the first time, this adds a new competitor in the form of a Linux-based option. Up till this point, Microsoft owned the gaming space. When a huge player like Steam suddenly enters the market, that means good things for everyone who buys, everyone who plays games. It will finally make Microsoft start to do something about their operating system. That's all we wanted. We want a good operating system. There's no good way to know exactly how Steam is going to cook with the user experience. The mouse functionality is going to work as opposed to the actual controller. We can only guess, but I've got a feeling that because of this strange intermixing of the console and the PC, maybe it's going to be better than just running Steam. Who knows? So how does this all tie back into game development? Well, the good thing is Steam is doing everything in its power to grow its user base, which means that we, game developers, are going to have a much bigger audience to create for if we choose to use Steam as a platform. If the Steam machine turns out to be super popular, it also becomes a very console-like standard for you to test your game against. Just like how developers for AAA benchmark performance against the consoles that they want to run on, game developers will also be able to have this for the first time ever console-like experience where there is a standard PC that you are going to run against. Kind of mind-blowing. And for me, as a game developer, I see it being so big. I'm hoping the best for this release. Definitely, I'm going to be buying a Steam machine for myself as well. I really liked how Steam showcased Godot and Blender at the same time. If it takes off, then Steam machine is going to be a huge, huge part of the Steam ecosystem. That's all my thoughts on the Steam machine. Maybe it might all be wrong, but I don't know. I don't know, man. We shall see. If you've enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Peace.